Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what time it is where you are, but right now it's time for more insight. This is insight you can trust because there is more where it came from. I'm your host, Chris Moore. Today with me, I have a special guest with me, y'all. We're talking about game, we're talking about growth. We're sitting with someone who is renowned, is world renowned, for one reason or another. But you know his name. This is Cory Jefferson, straight out of Baylor, third team all Big 12 his senior year. So he's done some good things in basketball. A matchup nightmare with bounce, length, and heart. But fast forward to now, he's coaching in the league, raising a tribe, y'all, a real tribe.
Cool.
He's running things, and according to his IG bio, he's a professional dad, influencer husband, NBA coach. Cory's story isn't just about basketball; it's about evolution, even checking his ego, fatherhood, smell goods, and what it means to pivot with purpose. So we're going to get into it. Welcome, Cory Jefferson. How you doing?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm doing good, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. So let's take it back real quick. Actually, let's start off this way. This phase, this chapter in your life, if it were to be the name of any movie, this is your own title. What's the name of this movie?
Name of this movie is Let's See What's Next.
Let's see what's next. I love it. I love it. And it's funny that you say that. So we can kind of get into that a little bit later. But let's take it back from the beginning. A kid from Texas. What made you believe that you could make it out and essentially go to Baylor and play basketball?
Yeah, it's funny. My story, I started later than a lot of kids. When I say later, I mean like I'm like 13, 14 years old when I actually started like really playing basketball. So I wasn't really thinking about like professionally and everything. I didn't really watch it like that. I got into it because my friends were playing. So I want to, hang out with my friends. So I'm gonna play basketball too. Then I started getting better with like towards when I got to start playing AAU and got in high school around like sophomore year. I started getting better and started realizing, okay, like I can really start like doing this. Like college coaches started talking to me. Like I'm not even thinking about like playing in college like that for real. And then, doing AAU, everything, college coaches started talking to me. So I'm like, all right, let me start taking it serious. So obviously started taking it more serious and got to the level of, got to Baylor and just took off from there.
And then while you're at Baylor, like I mentioned before, you were third team all Big 12. What did that moment mean to you?
It felt great for real. Like I said, when I got there, I was playing center at the time. I got to college at about 170 pounds playing center. So I had to just put on weight. And so for me to get there for my senior year, making it to the, 13 all Big 12, it kind of showed like what I went through from being there and actually putting in the work. I chose one of the main reasons I chose Baylor because they had one of the best strength coaches in the Big 12, Charlie Melton. I believe he's still there now. So he helped me go from like 170 to like 215, 220. So he really did a great job putting weight on, getting me, put on some muscle and just helping me develop through that whole time. And like I say, through that last year and getting all the accolades, that kind of like helped me like, man, I really put this work in. But at the same time, it's like now it's on to the next level, putting in more work.
On to the next level, putting in more work. And moving on to that next level, you found yourself being drafted. We're recently seeing that Shedeur Sanders has fallen in the draft. What does it feel like when you're waiting for your name to be called?
Man, it's nerve-wracking for sure. Especially, because I did a draft party, so I have all my people at the draft party. They're there for me, waiting for me to get drafted and things like that. And then I know with Shador is obviously his name brings a lot of hype and everything like that. So he's waiting to get called. All his people are waiting for him to get called. And really, when you don't hear it, it's just like, man, what's going on? Like, why ain't they calling me? Like, what did I do wrong? Things like that. But at the same time, we've seen it time and time again where star players, especially star quarterbacks, get drafted in the late rounds and they end up still being the stars that they are. At the same time, obviously you want to go higher, but I believe if you go to a good fit, then you go to a good fit and then get a great opportunity, then it doesn't even matter, honestly.
I was about to ask you what advice would you have for him. One thing I wanted to know, so when you're drafted, you're getting into the league. Um, how does it feel to even be in the league? Because you go from college, now you're in the NBA, you're like starting to fulfill your dreams, but now it's like, all right, now that I'm here, I got to stay here. So tell me about a little bit about your NBA journey.
Yeah, like you said, it's a dream. It's literally a dream. You dream about that for ever since you start playing basketball and realizing like I can get to this level. And once you're there, it's like, okay, now I got to stay here. I got to work. I was blessed enough to be around some good vets in Brooklyn with Kevin Garnett, Joe Johnson, Brooke Lopez. So I got to actually learn from them and see what it takes to really be in the league and what you should be doing day in and day out. So I was blessed to be around good vets. So good vets is really what's going to help you.
And for those who are looking and watching this, there's more professional leagues than just the NBA. And Cory has been able to be privileged and honored and had the responsibility of playing outside of the NBA. He's played overseas. Can you tell me about your overseas experience and how different it is to play outside of the United States?
For sure, for sure. Like I said, obviously everybody has a dream. If you're playing basketball, everybody has a dream of playing in the NBA, but there's only so many spots, and people do have to go overseas. That in itself is like a humbling experience. Just to like, man, I didn't make it. I wasn't able to play in the NBA, so now going overseas, even for me playing in the NBA and going overseas, it's like it's a hit. It's a hit to the gut for real. Also, it's like I can still make a living playing basketball. I can still like travel for free. You get to travel for free. You get to play basketball and experience different things, experience different cultures. So while you are doing that, just take all that in while you're able to, because there's a lot of people that don't travel, don't get to see the world, probably don't like leave the states that they're in. And it's like you have to enjoy it at the same time and realize that it is a blessing that you're able to, for one, just play professionally, getting paid to do what you love, and then experience the different cultures and see the different sites and go to the different countries and things like that.
What's been your favorite country to play basketball in?
My favorite country to play basketball, I'll rate it from, I'll do top three. So my first overseas experience playing basketball professionally was in Manila, Philippines, and they love basketball. They love it. So every time you go anywhere, the crowds would be like hype. It would be screaming the whole time, the arena. And that's really what you want to play for. Like you want to be in that environment playing as a professional athlete. That's the environment that you want to be in. I would put Manila up there just because, like I said, I loved it. I loved it over there. It was kind of more like westernized, so it was a little bit more familiar for me for that being my first time playing overseas professionally. It was less of a language barrier because more people spoke English. So I would place that as number one, but I also played in Milan, Italy, which, fashion capital of the world. Is just nice being over there. That was a little bit more obviously of a language barrier for me. But I was able to, kind of learn the language a little bit and try to like understand it. I wasn't able to like fluently speak Italian, but I was able to understand a little bit to like just get me by while I was there. And then I would say, as like being in there while I was in Milan, I played in EuroLeague, and that experience, I think even for NBA players, I believe that that is an experience like none other. You would
I've
want to
seen
go over there. Even guys in the NBA should go over there and experience a EuroLeague game, and it's just like nothing you can even explain. You can't. I can be standing next to you talking to you on the court and not hear a thing that you're saying.
I've seen those highlights on Instagram, and
Yeah,
it's
that experience
crazy.
is just wild.
It's
And
like it's like being in a soccer crowd, but it's in a basketball environment.
exactly, exactly. And
Yeah,
they take
I've
it
seen
serious
that.
over there. They take it serious for sure.
Man, I definitely need to put that on my bucket list to attend one of those EuroLeague games.
You
Um,
have to. You have to.
so after you play overseas, uh, before we go on, actually, what's been your favorite place to eat overseas?
My favorite place would probably be, I'll say Greece. Greece.
Really?
Yes.
I can see
Greece.
that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I can definitely see that. So now after you go overseas, you come back to the United States and you see that there's a next chapter in your life. What leads you to say, you know what? It's time for me to hang up my sneakers. It's time for me to hang up my jersey and my rafters. Because you recently talked about retiring. What brought you to that point?
Overall, really, it was my family. I mean, I knew when you start the game, hopefully you're always taught that they say the ball doesn't bounce forever. Like the air always leaves out the ball. Your career is going to end at some point. So to like just prepare yourself for whenever that happens. Hopefully, it's a longer career than shorter ones, but at the same time, as they say, the ball is always going to stop bouncing at some point in time. So even while I was playing, I always had like in the back of my mind to like be prepared for that and like have money away, have savings. I got into stocks toward the middle of my career and learned about things like that and just investing and things. So that was a big part of it. But to the fact of just actual retiring, it was really like my family. I started a family. I didn't want them, like I said, I did the overseas experience and I know I saw teammates and friends and things how hard it was on their families of just for one uprooting everything and moving across the waters overseas, wherever it may be, and bringing your family if you are bringing them. And then if you're not, then your family's here and you're away from them for all that time. And it's just
Oh,
like, it was like the double edge of like, I don't want to bring my family and have them to go through that and have them like, you got to find schools, you got to find hospitals, you got to really just
major
uproot and
adjustment. Yeah.
everything. But then at the same time, I'm not gonna keep them here and I'm over there missing them and they're missing me and I'm missing the moments with the kids and everything like that. So honestly, just like wanting to be around my family more and not, having that extra level of stress. So I was just like, I'm gonna just stay here. I'm gonna retire. I did make a final push of trying to get back to the league so I wouldn't have to be as far away. I wasn't able to do that, which was, another humbling thing is like, okay, that's just another part of life. You can say that I just didn't make it back. So, I said, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and retire. At the point that I made that decision, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. While I was like thinking about retirement, I was just like dabbling here or there and see what I would like. I was in real estate. I knew a couple of guys that were doing real estate. I knew some real estate agents, people that were developing houses. So I was even like just asking to shadow them, like, hey, can I come by? Can I check out like what you're doing like throughout the day? Like how's your day look? What does it look like? Things like that. Or even I made a video the other day of like even while I was still playing and I knew like I was gonna be retiring around here in Dallas, it's a lot of nice cars. So people drive a nice car.
Yeah.
If I find somebody with a nice, see somebody with a nice car, I'm like, yo, that's a nice car. And then I ask them like, what do you do for work? And they'll tell me. And if it sounds like interesting, it's like, okay, how'd you get started in that? Like, what was your route? Things like that. Um, what does your day to day look like? So it was really just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then at the end of the day, obviously, I jumped into coaching.
Speaking about coaching, can you tell us where you started at coaching?
So I first started coaching this is my second year coaching. My first year actually like really coaching because my first year was like an intern year and I started with the Texas Legends.
Awesome. And now you find yourself with the Dallas Mavericks. What's been the biggest lesson from coaching that you never saw coming as a player?
Um, well, the easy for real is like the meetings. This is for whatever reason you never think about as a player, you never think about the meetings and like everything that's put into like practices and prep. As a player, you just go out there and everything's ready. All right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. For some reason, I just never thought about like, okay, you do have to actually have a meeting to figure out what we're gonna be doing for the day for practices and for
Yes.
game plans, things like that. And I'm like, wow, I've never really thought about like you got to have some detailed meetings to put all these things together. But really, it's like another thing I learned. Well, one of the biggest thing I learned from coaching is that everybody needs coaching, no matter who it is. Once again, I've been blessed and fortunate enough to work with some Hall of Famers, while some Hall of Fame players while coaching, and it's like at the end of the day, they're human and they're players, and like you can get better. So don't be afraid to like let them know like, hey, you did this, you can do this to help you like get a little bit better on this or a little bit better on that, or next time watch for this. And it's just like they're human. Like you can talk to them and tell them like they did something wrong or that they did something right, and they'll want to hear it.
I'm sorry, Cory. It just popped in my mind that you're a Dallas Mavericks fan or you're a Dallas Mavericks staff.
Oh,
Excuse me for a
wow.
second. I gotta get comfortable. I gotta get comfortable. My
Wow.
apologies.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Just
We
for the
we
record,
we can take
I
that.
only live here. I'm from Atlanta.
We can
But
take
since I'm in Memphis, I
that.
have become somewhat of a Memphis Grizzlies fan.
He said
So
somewhat, so that's not a full fan. So
yeah, I'm
I
not a full fan.
can accept that.
They had me invested a few years ago. Now I'm like, what are we doing? Trying to figure life out.
Yeah, we
Uh,
take our L. We'll be back. We'll be back.
oh, for sure. You'll be back for sure. Now that I'm a little bit more comfortable, you mentioned that you worked with Hall of Fame players. I'm not going to get into the Luca stuff because that's what it is. But one of the things I'm more intrigued with is that when I looked at your Instagram page, there are 3 pictures of you helping Anthony Davis. So my question to you is, what's something about his game or his mindset that surprised you the most while you've had the opportunity to coach him?
Oh, that surprised the most. Not really a surprise for me, but it was just something that while we're going through coaching, it's just like he listens. Like I said, he's one of the person he's gonna be Hall of Fame, and I'm just a guy coming over helping him work out something he's been doing forever, his own routine that he has going forever. And I mentioned something during a workout, and or one of the other coaches mentioned something during a workout, and he'll take heed, he'll listen to it, and it'll help. And it's not like he could easily be like, man, I've been doing this for years. You know who I am. I'm good. I'll do it my way. No, he's coachable. He listens. So that's what I was saying. Like even like the top players in the league, like you have to just I could have been like, oh man, like he does this. He don't need me to say nothing. But as a coach, it's like that's really why you're there. Like
You're there,
to
yeah.
coach and help. There will be some players that's just like, nah, I'm doing my way. But you still have to. It has to be said.
That's a them problem.
Yeah, it has
Because
to be said. Once you put it out there and they say like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do it. Then okay, cool. Like we established it. I put it out there. You don't want to do it. That's fine. You don't. That's. I mean, that's you. It's not gonna hurt me, but the fact of if it is something that could help you, I have to say it.
absolutely, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you still got a job, man.
Yeah, exactly,
You got a
exactly,
job, and job got to get done.
exactly.
Do you ever get the feel to like? Do you ever get that itch to suit up? Or are you fully committed to that clipboard right now?
Man, it's there. It's there. I will say it was more of an inch last year, well, last season of like, man, I could still be out here. Um, and then obviously this season we went through like a lot of injuries with our bigs and everything like that.
A
It's
lot
like,
of injuries.
man, I can get out
Just
here.
signed a 10-day contract. Sign me up.
Here for a few minutes, grab a few rebounds and everything like that. But it isn't as big of an itch as it was last season. I'm still able to get out there on the court with the guys whenever they need me to, and like as you see, I'm on the court working out with the guys, so I'm still able to actually get out there and move around, and really it's like the best of both worlds for me for real.
Absolutely. Uh, so outside of basketball, you're a husband, and on your IG bio, we referenced before that you listed yourself as influencer husband, and that's not just cute. It's not just a title that you just threw up there because it's real. So, what does it mean for you to support a woman who's got her own light, her own platform, and her own influence? What does that feel like for
Feels good and it's easy, really. I mean, I know there's sometimes it's like I guess whatever reason, like how men are raised is like you have to be the number one in the house or like whatever it is, like the head or leading the house and things like that. But it's like it can be both. It can be both. Just helping each other out. I help my wife out. My wife helps me out. Especially like she's one of the goats. I'll say she's one of the goats in the industry. I'll say it for her. She don't like to say it, but so I like to see her doing her thing and then like influencing. When we first met, she asked me what's her job. We were doing like a little questionnaire thing. She asked me what's her job, what does she do, and I said to inspire the masses. So now anytime people will message her and say like, hey, you really inspired me to do this, or even if it's like to inspire me to wear the clothes that I want to wear, or you inspired me to get into influencing, or whatever it may be, like as a mom, whatever it is, she's doing it, and she's doing it because she is comfortable doing it, and like really just it's really her. There's nothing fake about it, and people can see that, and I see it, and it's like that's what I like to see. That's what I want her to be, and I just want to help her be the best that she can at doing it.
We're on the same wavelength, brother. On the same wavelength. Uh, Yesterday on my Instagram, I asked people what questions would they have for you. And one of the questions was, how did you know that your wife was the person? How did you know that she was the one?
The easiest way to answer that is I was with her 4 days straight. With me, it's like once I
A lot.
yeah, that was probably like a year's worth for me. Because it's like once I see you one day, it's like, all right, I'll see you maybe next week and next month.
Yeah.
But yeah, for her, it was like I didn't know what it was, but we had a we had a date. We had a date. We went to dinner. Then I took her home. Then the next day, I text her. I said, "Hey, what you doing today?" And she wasn't doing anything. I said, "All right, cool. Let's go see a movie." So that after we left the movie, she had just ended up getting that's when she just got Cooper. So we left the movie and went to go get some toys for Cooper and everything like that. And I'm like, man, this ain't even my dog. I'm with her getting toys and everything like that. So that was day number two. I think that was a Saturday. Then the next day, text her at the church, like, hey, what you doing? So we hung out again after church. And then I think that was for the third day, the fourth day, I hit her up again, like, hey, what you doing? So that was 4 days in a row. That's like a year's worth for me. So it was around that time I was like, okay, yeah, this is something for real.
And ladies, I want you all to hear Cory initiated every date. He's the one that started, hey, what are you doing today? Let's get up and do something. So when a man wants you, he's going to show you by his actions that he wants
For
you, not
sure.
just his
For
words.
sure.
Neither here
For
nor
sure.
there.
Every now and
Um,
then though, you gotta check to make sure that you want it too. So you might
for
wait,
sure.
but at the very beginning, he's gonna initiate for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And where did y'all meet?
We met May 19th of 2019. Excuse me,
Man.
May 18th, 19th, and it was a Saturday night.
Oh, I was about to ask you, was it through church? Because I know you mentioned church.
No, it wasn't church.
That's how me and my wife met. It was through social media, but also church at the same time.
Right.
So
Now
crazy
the
how life
the
happens.
interesting thing with that is, so we met when we did meet, and we started like after we met and started actually talking. She said she wanted to because we were in different churches, so she wanted to go to church with me to see if I really went to church. Because he said guys would like see that she goes to church on her Instagram and just say like, "Oh yeah, I go to church." So guys would say it and then like not really go to church. So she trying to see if I'm like people know me at church and everything. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. I mean, but hey, I guess guys do it. But yeah, so she wanted to go to church with me to make sure that I was really who I said I was.
That's wow. But given the times, it makes sense. It makes
For
perfect
sure,
sense.
for sure.
So now you all meet. You all are married, happily ever after. Then fatherhood comes along. In 2025, what does it mean to you to be a black father?
Honestly, out of all my titles, it means everything. Obviously, I love my wife. I love being a husband. I love being married to my wife. But the fact of just being a black father and just being responsible for them and seeing like me in them and hanging out with them every day, watching them grow, watching them learn, it's probably like I said, it's the best job in the world. I always say it's the best job in the world. I get to work in the NBA in Dallas where I live, and that's a great job, like a dream job. But being a dad to them kids is like the best thing in the world.
Uh, and you have two daughters, and you now have a son.
Yes,
How
sir.
has fatherhood changed like your priorities, your peace, even your perspective on the world even?
As far as priorities, they are number one. Family is number one. I make sure it's known to everybody. Even when I'm at work, with coaching and everything, it's like while I'm there, that is number one, unless there's an emergency at home. While I'm there, that's number one. Everything with basketball and coaching is number one. But when it's time to leave and get on the road back to the family, that's they're immediately shifting back to priority number one. And obviously, with that, it's not like a 9 to 5 where I check out soon as I leave. But whenever I do have like projects and tasks and film to watch and things like that, I do have to prioritize the family first and, hang out with the kids, make sure I'm getting my time with them, especially if it's not a time when we're on the road and we're home. I gotta hang out with the family, gotta hang out with the kids when they get out of school, gotta get my time in with the wife. And then after that, it's like, all right, cool. Open up the computer or turn the game on the TV and do whatever kind of film and everything like that. But they're definitely priority number one. And then as far as them like raising them in this world, it's like as a black dad, you gotta raise them a certain way, especially what's all of them is, but especially like a young boy, young man with CJ, my baby boy. It's a different world. It's a different world, especially with him being he's gonna be big. He's gonna be he's gonna be a big a big kid, a big man, and it's like that's gonna be an even extra target because whether he knows it or not, like he's gonna be intimidating and he's gonna stand out because he's gonna be bigger than other people. And like I said, it happened with even like one of my friends. He was, we're athletes and everything, so his kids are big, and it's like even with him, people were like intimidated and didn't want to talk to him. And it's like he's like a sweet kid. Like there's nothing, just talk to him, it's fine. But that's the reality of the world. Like as a black man, and like he's like I say, he's gonna be around my height, so about 6'9" or whatever it is. He's already gonna stand out. And even with that, I just want them to know, I want them to know their history. So now I'm doing a thing for that I started doing back in February of just putting something out every day because now they're trying to erase history basically, erase Black history. So even just for me of learning new things about Black history and then the things I learned, I want to put out for everybody else to learn and maybe they'll see something and want to share it. So I share something every day on my Instagram and my stories of just random facts of Black history or something that's going on currently, whatever it is that's just Black history, because it's important. I want my kids to know it. I want everybody else to know it, and it doesn't need to be erased.
There you go, influencing the masses all over again. There you go. Let me ask you this. This is father to father now. I have a 3-year old. How old is
Mhm.
your oldest?
My oldest is 4. She'll be 5 in December.
Okay, my son is at 3 years old, man. So maybe I don't know if it's a gender thing or not. When do I get past the whiny phase?
I think we're still in it. We're still in it.
Okay,
We're still in it. So you got some years.
okay. Because man, we were just playing basketball last night, and I, I had to humble him. So I blocked his shot, and he started crying like, "Daddy took the ball from me." I'm like, "Son, the ball isn't always going to go your way. Sometimes you're going to get blocked. Sometimes the ball is going to be stolen. So you just can't cry. I understand that you're upset and you feel disappointed, but don't rest in that. Just say, you know what? Let me get the ball back from daddy. Get the ball back from daddy now." So I'm trying to not be the toxic masculinity that I was raised up under, but
Exactly. It's
also
tough.
like,
It's
man,
tough.
it's so
You
tough,
gotta
man.
you gotta try to get it right there in the middle of like I don't want to overdo it, but I also don't want you to be like whiny, whiny, whiny and think that it's okay.
Right.
But I don't want to like, no, don't cry. Yeah, like you can
I
have
want you to
emotions.
cry,
Yeah, you
but
can have your
and I,
emotion. Yeah, exactly. It's tough. It's tough.
they ain't write no book for this, man. They ain't tell me about this when
You
I
gotta
was
learn
getting
every
married.
day.
They didn't tell me this when I
Got it
was leaving the
every single day.
hospital.
Every single day. But it's also cool because, like I say, I do it with my oldest is 4, so she's the oldest and she loves being big sister. Then my middle child Zuri, she's 2 and she'll be 3 in June. So it's always funny to hear Harper, my oldest, like talking to Zuri and CJ, like the same way that I talk to her is like, no, it's okay. Don't cry. You could just do this or you could just do that. So it's like you can see it because you see that they understand. So it's like it kind of helps me as a parent. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Let me tell you the
It's
funny thing
reward.
about,
It's reward.
to your point. So maybe 30 minutes later, we took a break, played basketball again. So as a learning lesson, I try to I let him steal the ball from me, and I started doing the whole crying thing. It's like I'm so sad, I'm so sad. He said, "Daddy, everything's not going to go your way." I
There
said,
you
"All
go.
right, you got it."
There you
I
go.
definitely,
Yeah,
yeah,
but things like that, it lets you know that they are listening. So
for sure.
you're on the
They're
right.
listening, even when they're not listening.
Exactly. You're on the right path. You good.
Man, okay. So now as a dad, as a husband, as a coach with a full-time job, as also an influencer, you're pouring out so much. What do you do to replenish yourself?
Really just been well, now at this point in my life, I'm more of a homebody. Before I was like to be outside and everything like that. But at this point, I'm more of a homebody. To like just recharge everything. I'll really just either sit in the house or sit in the backyard and listen to music. Uh, and really that's really about it. I might go out just to just be outside, like literally outside, like for a walk. I'll take CJ for a walk in his stroller, take him for a walk, put the music on, put some oldies on or Afro beats or something like that. Walk around the neighborhood, and that's really just how I get my recharge, or just sitting and watching TV for real.
Let me ask you this. The Corey of today, 5 years ago, did you see your life being like this?
Not at all, not at all.
And what
And
would you
it's just
tell the Corey 5 years ago? What would you, if you were to write like a simple, quick letter to him, what would you tell him?
to just trust the process.
There you go.
Definitely trust the process. 5 years ago, I knew I wanted to be a family man even then, but even like right now, I never would have guessed that it would have been like this good.
Man, I know how you feel. Lifestyle wise, again, I looked through your Instagram. You're a cologne connoisseur. So I want to know what are your top three colognes that you have in rotation right now?
Top three colognes, this is definitely Creed Aventus. Um, I have a Louis Vuitton that I like to wear for date nights. Can't remember which one it is. I'm sorry. But it is on my Instagram on the reels. I go through and which ones are like my favorite. But Creed Aventus for sure, Louis Vuitton, and then there's a YSL that's like one of my favorites.
I got you. I got a Dolce and Gabbana, a YSL, something else. I can't remember it.
Well, there you
Anyway,
have it. When all else fails, get a YSL.
get a
Get a
YSL.
YSL.
Man, I still have some CK1 from middle school.
Yeah,
Like I'll bring out some
yeah,
CK1 every once in a while just because it's just nostalgia.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yep. Uh, Now you also have a man cave. You have a bar.
I do.
Is whiskey your drink of choice?
Whiskey is definitely my drink of choice. Matter of fact, let me rewind because when you said about like calming down and resetting, I also need my whiskey. Give me a nice little glass. So there we go.
I saw the whiskey. I saw one of my favorites up there, Grand Marnier, the liqueur. I saw the Uncle Nearest up there. But I'm looking at this shelf and I'm like, hey man, where the tequila at? So there's no tequila up there, huh?
It's not tequila upstairs in the cave, in the man cave. We keep the tequila for everybody else so they can get to it.
So,
But there's no vodka. There's no, if you need vodka, you got to bring your own
you gotta
vodka.
bring your own. Yeah, I'm
We
with you on
do
that
have
one.
tequila for everybody else that comes over and wants tequila because I know I'm not gonna want it when I'm in the man cave. So that's just mostly straight whiskey, a couple of wines up there. But yeah, there is tequila, but that's for the guests.
Now, if you want, you can get the Reposado. It's a darker tequila.
I actually might try it. Matter of fact, next time I go, next time I make my re-up, I'm gonna go and grab that and put that in the cave.
There you go, man. There you go. I just wanna expand it just a tad, just a
Yeah,
tad.
baby steps, baby steps.
There you go. When your kids are grown, what do you want them to say about you?
What I want them to say, that I was there and that they learned whatever it is that they learned something from me that they can continue with in life and take with them in life. But mainly that I was there, that I was around, that I didn't miss out.
And what do you want your wife to say about
What I want her to say, that I was there for her as well. That I was there for her, that I made the effort to be there and to be understanding with whatever she needs, but just for sure that I was there and understanding and putting forth the effort.
you? Got a couple more questions and we'll get you out of here. What's more pressure? Coaching in the NBA or getting 3 kids ready for school?
Definitely 3 kids ready for school.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. You never know what kind of day it's gonna be. And it's like this morning, everybody was fine, everything was fine, woke up, got dressed, got downstairs, had breakfast. TJ loves to watch Danny go, so everybody watched Danny go, before school. Fine day, perfect day, no tears. But at the same time, it could be a day when you just walk in the room and somebody just starts crying for no reason. You don't know why they're crying. They don't know why they're crying. They don't want to go to school today. It can be just so random. So I will definitely pick getting 3 kids dressed for school.
I'm just happy that it's just not me.
It is
I'm glad
not,
that somebody else is dealing with the same things that
it's
I'm
not
dealing with, and I
you.
only have one. We're
Yeah.
definitely on. I don't want to go to school today, and I'm like, bro,
It'd be so random. Like, why? So then I gotta ask them, like, did something
you gotta
happen at
ask.
school? Like, what's going on? Why don't you want to go to school? I just don't want to go to school. I don't know. So like, okay. So it's gonna be a battle today.
So my kid is into wrestling now, so I have to act like I'm calling up Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso and telling them that hey, he don't want to go to school. So you got to
Hey,
figure
you
out things to
do
make
what you
them
gotta
do
do.
what you need them to do at that time.
Gotta do what you gotta do for sure.
Man, being a whiskey drinker, do you like it neat, old fashioned, on the
All
rocks?
the above. I like it neat. I'll do an old fashioned. Throw a cube in there. My sister is like she will doctor up some drinks, so I'll let her like make some drinks. We have one that she let me name, so I named it a 34 after my jersey number.
Nice.
And I don't know what's all in it, but she does like the agave and like the lemons and everything like that. So she really gets into it. So I let her make her drink every now and then. But really it's just whatever, honestly. However I'm feeling at that point in time.
Oh, man, okay, okay, okay. Um, what's on your playlist right now? What's one of those popping songs? Uh, whether it's gospel, R&B, rap, what's something that's like got your ears right now?
It really just depends on the time of day. When I wake
Same.
up in the mornings, I have my gospel playlist and I'll put that on in the mornings while I'm getting dressed or while I'm on the way to work or anything like that. And usually, if I'm still listening by around like 9 to 10 o'clock, then I'll switch over, depending on what I'm doing. If it's like after practice or anything like that, then I'll like try to put on something chill. So I'll put on like more of an Afro beats. If it's on the way to home from work, then that's when I'll put on like rap. It's really not like a particular song. Just I just throw on the playlist and just let it go. And then obviously date lights, I have a playlist and it's just different playlists. Sundays I have my oldies, so
Oh, for
it's
sure,
different play. Yeah, you gotta have the oldies on your Sundays.
for
So
sure.
it's different playlists, different vibes for different times of the day.
And I know everybody typically has the same songs on for those Sundays, man. It's something about Sundays like in the evening time between like 3 and 6 and 7. It's
Uh-huh.
something about that time right there that just feels right.
You gotta have it. You gotta have your
Gotta
oldies.
have it.
You gotta have the oldies.
Last question here. Any series or movies that you're watching right now on Netflix or streaming? It's so many streaming services. Anything
It
that's
is.
really got your attention right now?
I just got into the crazy thing is I've had Hulu for like 4 or 5 years now, and I forgot all about that. You get Hulu, you get Disney Plus, and I always see the commercials that says it, but I never paid attention. and it never registered. So I'm like now just recently over the last couple of months, like catching up on all my Disney Plus. So I'm a big Marvel fan. So like everything Marvel, I'm like either rewatching again, like the old X-Men animated series, old Spider. I'm currently watching the old Spider-Man animated series. But I was watching the new Daredevil series, Born Again. I think it's called Born Again. But yeah, the new Daredevil series, I've been watching that. Me and my wife, whenever we don't have anything to watch, we'll watch Game of Thrones all over again. Uh, if I don't have anything to watch and she's not here, you can't watch the show without her if y'all watching it together. So, so my go-to shows though, like just watching Restart are like Breaking Bad, or I just recently watched Blacklist all over again. Um,
I hated the way it ended, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I stopped after Liz. I only watched the first one or two seasons. Whenever I rewatch it, I stopped after Liz leaves. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
I
goes down
can't.
after
Yeah.
that.
After that, I just stop it and like, all right, it's time to find what's next. But shows currently that are like current we watched. Um, Last of Us, we just started watching that again now that the second season is out. We just started that. Um, Paradise, that was a great one that we
Oh,
watched.
so good. So good.
Paradise was a great one on Hulu. Um, and I can't remember recents, but we really just try to find shows and whatever we have our shows that we watch together, then our shows that we watch separately. So we just try to find our shows and movies and everything like that.
Man, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate it. You're doing so much as a father, as a husband, as a businessman, as a career, as a coach. So congratulations. Stay encouraged in everything that you're doing. I appreciate you joining me for more insight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you for having me, for even reaching out.
Absolutely, absolutely.